Hey everybody, Matt Hill. I'm up here in Manford, Oklahoma. We're with really just a new technology. I've had Craig on before and Jody, but I wanted to revisit because the company's come a long way since the last time we talked about it. Introduce yourselves, everybody.
I'm Jody Whiteneck. Been in wireline for about 35 years.
Ann Koppel, I'm Craig's partner and his wife.
Eddie Norris, I'm the owner of the machine shop where we're manufacturing these parts.
I'm Craig Brown and Ann Koppel's husband and partner.
I'm Marty Houston, just the owner of Houston Services.
I'm Tom Sheffield, about 40 years in the oil and gas industry, mostly of which was with Pioneer Natural Resources.
So we've got thousands of years of oil and gas experience here. The company is Underground Vision, and this is essentially the Vision Seal. And well, Craig, tell us a little bit about it. I mean, you guys developed this idea with you and your partners.
Yeah, we've been working on this for a little over 4 years. We've been working with the University of Tulsa. Houston Services developed the very first seal that we had done. And Marty's machines are set up to do manual. And so to get to the next level, we came to Eddie, who has the CNC machines, and through his technology and N&S flame spray, now then we've combined, in my opinion, two of the finest machinists in Oklahoma, maybe in the country, together, and have developed the perfect seal, we believe. Today, Matt was here when we demoed. Jody Whiteneck worked for Wireline Services. He came out, Ranger Energy Services had come up with a theory that we could set these with a setting tool, a Baker 10 setting tool. We had designed it to be set with a hydraulic cylinder, which is still available for the smaller people. The big guys that want to be able to set these, and then I'll let Jody explain what the big benefit is to being off a wireline. But the University of Tulsa has tested our seals under pressure for over 3 years with zero leakage. We know our system works. And today we proved it could be set on a wireline system without any retrofitting of their trucks. And I'd like to introduce Jody to explain how he set it, and then we'll go to Marty and Eddie and let them explain the idea behind building it.
All we did, we got with Eddie and built a custom running gear that everybody uses on setting tools in the oil field to set any other plug, and tried to keep this just like anything else anyone else would supply. You put down hole, you set it off a Baker 10. We use slow burn power charge, took 51 seconds to stroke it, and it's better and easier than anything we've set so far. So we've simplified it now. You can still have your well containment, pressure control, or anything else that the rubber hose and additional things down hole were causing issues. We've eliminated that today, and you can conventionally set them wireline anywhere you've got wireline trucks and setting tools.
Yeah, 30,000 foot view, just for anybody that hadn't clued in yet, when Craig first called me, his main concern was, hey, we've got, 18,000 wells on the books in Oklahoma that Oklahoma owns that they're going to have to go out and plug and abandon. But, and Craig showed me the real report out there, the non-producing wells right now.
280,000.
That's just in Oklahoma.
Yes.
Yeah, and
That's a study by McGill University.
Yep. And that it shows every state the real number of wells out there that might have to be plug and abandoned. And we're not saying that they have to be plug and abandoned, but you can either go out and do it cheaper, faster, stronger, and simpler, and safer, and more effective with this new technology, or something that we found once we started going to the OEPA meetings and got to meet with the Corporation Commission here in Oklahoma or anywhere else in the country. You can use this as a better bridge plug and kick the can down the road, if you will, to hold that well in place and give yourself a little opportunity to build up capital to go do something else with that well bore, or get that well bore up and running to produce oil and gas. But the sky's the limit. We all talk about it. There's all these new technologies where people are utilizing well bores these days for geothermal, energy storage. I mean, we just don't know. So plugging and abandoning 280,000 in Oklahoma, $500,000, in Texas.
900,000.
900,000 in Texas, on and on and on. You go through all these well bores in every state. It's like, we have this, let's go see what else we could do out there.
The other big issue with it is too, when we go to plug these, and we know because we've got a boat on Skytooth Lake, conventional plugging, if you think it works, put it underwater. I'm telling you, they're leaking methane, they're leaking gas, they're leaking oil. If somebody out there, and I'm sure there's somebody out there, matter of fact, I got a phone call from one guy that swears they can. I've never seen any cement that didn't crack. And right now we're putting a bridge plug down that we had Jody and them set a bridge plug for us 3 years ago in a piece of pipe, took it to TU, put it under the exact same test our seal was under. In 48 hours, they were at 0. 3 years, we had not lost a nano bubble. Jody and them feel like they can go out and put these in for approximately the same cost as a bridge plug. So why in the world would you want to put a bridge plug in when you put this in and actually seal the well off?
Yeah.
I mean, the regulations require cement, but that's, our regulations require 2 barriers, and we're putting 2 barriers in there that we believe as our company, neither barrier works. Bridge plug isn't designed to hold gas, it's designed to hold weight. And a cement, okay, I say it cracks. And then, we've also gone on our seal, and the highest one I'm aware of is rated to 10,000 pounds of weight. We took this to 35 ton, Marty?
Yeah, 35 ton that we put on it, and it never moved.
Wow.
And that's when we got spooked with it.
Such an impressive
Said, well,
number.
that's more than anything we'd ever put on it, so we just stopped at that point. And it's a seal. It's not like the bridge plug, which we, in my opinion,
Well, this is being pulled into your marine aluminum sleeve and expanding it and cold welding it onto that casing.
Yes.
I mean, that's impressive.
What basically is happening is you're forcing this wedge, you're pulling the wedge up in there.
Yeah.
And then you have a shear pin hole right here. So we have it designed for the right amount of pressure. The unique thing about it is, and Jody could go more into that detail, you're not going to damage your pipe. On these old wells, when you set a standard bridge plug, Jody can talk about what he's seen over his lifetime compared to the way these are set. And Jody, would you like?
Well, your bridge plug is designed to grab the pipe with slips, tungsten carbide. You've got slips on below and above the element, and that's the only way a bridge plug sets. It has to forcefully bite into the casing, compress itself, and then the other set of slips set. If you've got 70, 80, 90-year-old pipe in the ground, you're doing nothing but punching holes every time you try to set a plug. They wonder why things continue to leak, but we just keep doing the same dumb thing over and over again. This does not damage the pipe. It swells with the pipe. There's no damage and nothing pushing into it. I have a hard time not understanding why people can't grasp what we have here and the ability to do things the right way. And if you look at this, so many companies are on programs every 3 years. They go back and recycle all of their wells they've previously plugged and abandoned. And why is that? We plug them with bridge plugs and cement. If it worked, these companies wouldn't spend this money every year. We have an opportunity to try something different. It's right here and hands down. Now that it can be deployed with conventional wireline, there's zero excuses.
And then Eddie can tell you through Eddie set us up to be able to manufacture these things. Eddie, how many could we do in a day?
We're setting up right now to run 1,000 a day as a set, and with the capabilities of going more. But we can run that right now.
So as far as anybody having to wait very long on seals,
No.
all they got.
Well, what we talked about, is just how readily available, we can get, the core material, the marine aluminum. And, go into a little bit about the metallurgy of the marine aluminum and why it's such a superior, source material.
Well, TU was not real happy with our, we originally started with aluminum, brass, and bronze. Yeah. They were worried about the corrosion factor. So Marty actually built one out of Teflon, a nylon product, and it worked. I mean, we put it under pressure test at TU, and Rangers actually had us run a press test out on it. And, it was Teflon, and we were kind of nervous about it. But anyway, we went to what was it, Ian, 10,000 pounds?
Yes.
10,000 pounds of pressure on it. We got scared because we were in a closed area. And it actually, I'm not even sure you can even shove it out of the pipe, man, because it compressed.
It just keeps squishing.
And it gets tighter
not
and
moving.
tighter.
And we was afraid more we was going to punch through it versus it moving.
No,
so we stopped at the 14,000.
14,000.
I mean, and then we set one out on a well to find out how hard they were going to be to drill out.
Okay.
And we used
Teflon.
Yeah,
Exactly.
Exactly.
And that's what I loved about that. And those are available. They can still be the Teflon.
Yeah, everything we're talking, we can still do brass and bronze if they want, but I highly recommend not. Use this one here. They're going to run a test in Canada for us. Yep. Canadian people are called, and they're really interested in what we're doing. And they're kind of a little bit different than America. When they do tests, everything goes through academia. They send it to the colleges test, and they bring in all the operators, and all the operators are involved in the test. So he said they would give us wells up there to put them in so that they could approve it. And they're running tests on cement right now. They don't believe cement works either. I mean, they're running tests on cement to see if they can get it to work.
I mean, we can all agree at this table. At the time, whenever that, process was developed, that's the best, and that's what we all aspire to. Hey, what's the best we have available right now? So I don't want to knock anybody in the past for using cement. However, now that you see something new and it works, that's when you start adopting that technology and that process. Like, hey, we have a solution to cover what used to work and was our process, but going forward, this is where we're at now.
Well, Tom got us involved with the Railroad Commission in Texas, got us in where we could go in and set up a meeting with the Railroad Commission. And I'll let him talk, but basically they approved it in a 24-hour period in Texas.
They saw the evidence.
Yes, they saw the evidence. There's a few other testing we need to do for it and stuff. But right off the bat, you can start setting them in Texas with a little cement on top of them. But they said this could easily be a game changer, and I believe it is. That's why I've been involved with this group the whole time. Through my past in Colorado and other states, there's just too many issues with leaking methane in old wells that were supposed to be plugged or just temporarily abandoned wells, and they create a lot of issues. It actually had a house catch on fire and blow up in Firestone. And so I'm excited about this. I'm excited about being able to use this to stop those issues, but also when you want to plug back a well and hit the next zone, you've got the perfect solution for it. You get down there, you get it done, you get off the hole quicker, you get to your completion of your next zone a lot quicker. And I think it's exciting, and I think it's going to go a long ways. And
that'd be a good application for the Teflon ones.
Absolutely,
like that, where absolutely. We're going to go, hey, look, we know ahead of time we're going to drill all these out.
In the horizontal well, we frack, set a plug, frack, set a plug, frack, set a plug, and they've tried using different plugs. The plugs cut loose while you're in the middle of the next frack job, and you just have lots of issues. Again, using the same technology with the Teflon version, you can easily go in and knock out or drill out easily, and they're not going to go anywhere because they'll sit there and compress as it tries to feed back on them after that first primary stage. And so it's just absolutely exciting.
Yeah, we've actually gone as high as 10,000 pounds of pressure underneath the seal too, and tried to make it leak from bottom up. And there's a petroleum engineer now that works for Oxy. Ryan McGregor is actually when he was a student at TU, he is the one that wrote the white paper on this seal. So, it was kind of nice to see one of the kids that we always take TU students and let them come out and learn what we're doing. And the other one that did the white paper on the liner, which we're not here to discuss, but Aiden, how do you say his last name?
Aiden Holzman.
Holzman. He wrote the white paper on the liner. Now he's works for NOV. So these young guys they went with us for 2 years. We hauled them everywhere, and they invented a lot of the tests that we ran, didn't they, Marty?
Different ones that
they were great guys, and I'm proud of them. Now then they've gone off from TU and they've landed big time jobs, and they were hard working young men, and And I think Ann adopted both of them. I think they're
Yeah.
almost like her
She
children.
does.
And I also want to thank Dr. Pereira and Dr. Oz because they are behind us and they've helped with every test. And I want to just mention, it only took 7 minutes to drill the Teflon seal out. And the 2 tests that we are in the process of doing is with in H2S and
The marine aluminum gets better over time in H2S.
It's supposed to, according to all the paperwork we've got, it thrives in H2S. You know, it was designed to be put on the ocean, way I understand it, Matt. It was designed to be put on the ocean floor for them to pump oil through. Is that right, Tom?
These are for pipeline as well as liners and everything else offshore.
Yeah.
Jody, you touched on, because I always like to weigh positives and negatives, and you brought up something a minute ago. I was sitting there thinking about, in casing that is questionable. You'll know right away whether that was going to grab in there and cold weld to that inside of that casing. I mean, if you put that bunch of pressure on that casing, it doesn't work.
Yeah, I mean, because it's.
Seeing another unique thing about our system here, if they've got some weird pipe, we all know during wars and stuff.
Yeah.
All they got to do is tell Eddie what the idea of the pipe is. We have the dimensions down now where we know what size of wedge for what size of pipe. There's no limit to how big we can make it, how small we can
this
make
is
it.
very scalable to whatever.
Oh, we're set to do it. I mean,
There'll be multiple sizes.
we really, our goal is one day to be able to produce 3,000 a day.
Yeah, in whatever size are needed.
Yeah, they just need to order, just like anything else. You order it, we'll ship them out. We're gonna be able to ship them to you.
Yeah.
We're in the process of getting API certified as well.
Yeah,
We're legal in what all states now, Ian? What
We're
states?
legal in Oklahoma, Colorado, Texas, and New Mexico. And we're waiting approval from Canada, Wyoming, Arkansas, and Kansas. I mean, we just approach them one state at a time.
But we need a customer.
Pennsylvania.
It works better if a customer, like if Jody owned a wireline company, calls and said, all right, we want to get you certified in our state. We go in, it looks like we're trying to pedal.
I've noticed you're staying in your own lane. You're making your research development, coming up with the seals, putting them into a product that everybody can use, and this is going to be available for everybody.
Yeah.
It's not like you're going out to buy your own wireline trucking company and doing it yourself. Like, hey, everybody out there, get a hold of these vision seals and go to work. Doing a better job. Do you want to talk about the sleeves yet?
No, I'd rather wait till that'll be another podcast.
Another day.
We're still in R&D on it.
He always has something else he's working on.
Well,
Yeah, he does.
we're close. I'm gonna say within the next. A lot of it is I'll be honest with you, man, we've spent so much money developing this. We need to get some return in so we can spend that money developing that. You know what I mean?
I have people on this podcast that show this stuff off because they believe it works and you're going to need it. So, we're going to be profitable.
Yeah. And we're going to create jobs in Oklahoma.
Yes.
And it's good for the environment, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
There we
Good
go.
for the
It gets rid of a big eyesore that we have as an industry. I mean,
That's right.
Yep.
you believe in climate change or not, here's a solution to the methane leaks. And,
This is a seal.
With Quado, facing everybody now, and we don't know what the current administration is going to be able to rein back on that or not, but
It'll reverse and come back the other direction.
right.
But for 8 years, it's always
Yeah.
Yeah.
At least
and
this
it's
way.
increasing the regulatory requirements of all the oil and gas companies.
And it'll be very easily for a person to be able to have a well bore. So if you'll quit cutting off pipe. Leave their pipe in the ground.
And that's a whole nother show, but I agree. A lot of learned people do whenever people are going out to do those plug-in abandonments. I mean, it's in all of our best interest to have that, wellhead up there and pipe to go into from the top.
And if they are going to cut off, at least just cut it off below ground level 3 feet, put a cap on it, because at least if it starts leaking, we can get back in there. The way we're doing them now, pulling pipe is the silliest thing. I mean, and then I have one other, it's just a deal where any environmental company that's after carbon captures, which we hear that all the time.
Yep.
If you're really truly after carbon captures and you really are truly trying to stop methane, this is the only way. This is it.
You got anything to add, Jody?
No, sir. He said it all.
And
that you can customize a seal if you have an odd piece of pipe.
Yeah,
You can have a custom one built.
like that.
Yep.
You ready to get to work?
I'm ready to get to work.
All right, guys. Thank you all so much. Watch at the end. Please don't fall off of here. I took a short video of them setting. I got to witness 2 of these being set today inside casing. So I got to see it with my own eyes. It's pretty impressive. And I'll put that video here at the end.
Again, Matt, though, we need to thank Ranger for coming up with that idea.
Yes.
Ranger, this was total Ranger idea to be able to do this. And I'd like to say this about Ranger. They're a large company, but they have followed us step to step for a year and a half, 2 years doing this, and gave us many, many ideas, been really supportive. They let us speak at the oil show here in Tulsa. They've gone to mainly, I'm not going to, Mike Hopkins has been our, I can't say
A
enough.
lot of people are championing you.
Yeah.
You've done a good thing here, and you've brought in a lot of amazing talent. So
Yeah.
Building teams. That's what our industry is about. We're not just energy industry. We're a solution industry. So that's impressive. Well, what's the website one more time?
It's
Vision Seal.
Oh yeah.
Well, I'm gonna just get that and then point it at Underground Vision Technology.
Right.
All right. Wait, everybody.
Right.
Take care.
Thank
God
you.
bless you. Bye.
We're here today to run a test. Ranger Energy Services was wanting us to run a test to see if they could set our seal off of a setting tool instead of the hydraulic system that we've designed. Ranger, by doing this, we won't have to retrofit their trucks. We're going to set it off a Baker 10. And Jody's going to explain to you how it works. If this system works, which we're pretty well positive it will, you'll be able to, any logging company in the United States is going to be able to set these seals or anywhere else. And I'm going to let Jody explain to you exactly how the Baker setting tool works. And now I'm going to turn it over to Jody.
All right, guys, I don't have much to say. All the wireline folks that will watch this know the Baker 10. Everyone's run it, it's simple. And now the beauty of having this seal available to set off everything you've got, there's nothing to upgrade. And Eddie's showing you how to put it together. With the running gear, it attaches just like any other plug that we set. Maybe. All right, now we're ready to get ready to go downhole.
Stuff before we go to put it together, we're going to explain.
$37.